I grew up in one of those liberal families that had a strong small business background. I remember my father used to say, you support private enterprise because it's private enterprise that supports you. But I think for me really it was when I was about 10 years old. I had this wonderful primary school teacher and he gave me a free choice project. And he said, "You're interested in current affairs, Julian, why don't you do a project on Australia's Prime Ministers?" So as a 10-year-old boy, I did a little short biography of each Prime Minister and I drew a picture of them. Now, I'm not much of a drawer, but when I got to Menzies, he has these wonderful bushy eyebrows and I cut my hair and stuck it down on the project to demonstrate Menzies' amazing eyebrows. But there was a theme that kept coming through this project on a serious note, and that is that every time we were in government, the economy ran well, there was social stability, and Australia's best days seemed to be ahead of it. Whereas every time the Labor Party was in government, the economy went very badly, there was social unrest, and it seemed as though Australia's luck was running out. That convinced me that there was something good about the liberal approach, a liberal approach that has a focus on growing the economy and on social stability. I joined the Young Libs when I was 16, shortly after Keating became Prime Minister, as a bit of a protest against what he was doing. Keating had, really done some bad things for Australia. We had record unemployment. There was 34% youth unemployment. This was a person who, despite the fact that he'd lost control of the economic situation, he'd given Australia the recession we had to have. And I remember my father was a small business accountant and he had clients that couldn't pay their bills. When you're an accountant, you really look at the way people's businesses run. You have a sense of how the economy's going, and the sense was that people's luck had really run out, and Keating didn't have any way of dealing with it. And then he went on this cultural agenda that rubbished Australia's history and its institutions and its place in the world. Something I'd wanted to do since I was that 10-year-old boy doing a project, because I think there's only two really good reasons to be involved in politics, in my view. One is because you want to help people, and the job of a Member of Parliament is very much helping people. And the other because you want to see reform, because you want to change things, because you want to make the country stronger, freer, more prosperous, more secure. They're the things that I think are important to us as Liberals. They're certainly important to me. The major committees that I'm on are the Joint Committee on Intelligence and Security, so we're particularly focused there on protecting the country from terrorism and foreign interference. And Liberals have a strong equity in that space, and I think it's always important that, it was Ronald Reagan who said that the first duty of the government is national defence, is to protect the citizens, and that's a very important thing to do. And we have to think about the protections we put in place while balancing individual freedoms and liberties, and I think that's always an important duty of a Liberal there. I spent a long time before I was a parliamentarian involved in intercommunal relation building in a role that I had at the New South Wales Jewish Board of Deputies as the chair of their Community Relations Committee. And I think the importance of strengthening individual relationships is actually how you strengthen the relationships of a society. So Shahan, Ahmed and I were at school together, and then we were at law school together as well. And we just struck up a friendship because we both wanted to get into law, and that was a goal that we had. We both have a similar sense of humour and so on. But I happen to be a Jew and he happens to be a Muslim, and we've enjoyed the diversity of that relationship, as I enjoyed the diversity of relationship with my Christian and Hindu and Baha'i and Zoroastrian friends too, for that matter. But Shahan's my best friend, I think, because we had that experience of that important life goal of getting into law school together, and we've been friends ever since. He comes to Passover at my place. We've had Eid with his family over the years. His father is a great Islamic law scholar and taught a generation of students contract law at UNSW. He's a lovely fellow, Shahan, with a great sense of humour, and he was there when I got elected, out there campaigning for me on election day, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and his wife and his kids in blue t-shirts yet again. I strongly dispute that Labor has a monopoly on multiculturalism or multicultural communities. There are many people who come to Australia who've come here from repressive regimes, from regimes that take a hyper-socialistic or communist view of the world. There are people who've come here to start small businesses, who believe in education, who are the deepest patriots for this country. Those people share our values so deeply, and it's found in every community from across the country. And I think our challenge is to ensure that we're communicating with those people properly, that our values are their values and their values are our values. And I think we need to do more to do a better job of that.